All right, so this is continuing this history, and this would be the third foundation, human psychology, and that is actually broken into two groups. One is the comparative psychologists, which we will deal with on this video, and then the next video will be on ethologists, which usually have a different background. They're usually zoologists in training. So kind of explaining the difference real quickly is comparative psychologists like to do things kind of in labs. That way you can set all the different variables so you can actually look at responses to a single stimuli. The zoologists, on the other hand, the ethologists, they like to do it in a natural setting, and that means you can't control all the variables, but that they believe is more of a natural behavior then. So both of these schools have given us great information, and so we'll start with the famous psychologist. And the comparative psychologist we'll start with is Ivan Pavlov, won a Nobel Prize, one of the three that won a Nobel Prize for his classical conditioning work. This is Pavlov's dog, the one that talks about getting a dog to salivate to a stimulus. And so the idea behind this is you have an unconditioned stimulus and an unconditioned response. So what they did is show the dog food. That food would actually cause the dog to salivate. And then what they did is also introduced a bell, and the bell had no association whatsoever. So they ring the bell, the dog would do absolutely nothing. And then they started conditioning. What they did is they took the stimulus, and every time that they showed the dog the food, they would actually ring a bell. And then what would happen is now the dog was associating the food with the bell. And then at the very end, what they ended up doing is ringing the bell, and the dog would salivate without the food. And so what I do is I actually have a video, and I'm not going to play it now. It's about a 3-minute video. I'd like you to watch it. Kind of shows how they set it up. Now, this is an actor's reenactment. I tried to get the original footage, and there is some, and you could probably search it on, but it's pretty grainy, and a lot of it's kind of embedded in these very long half-hour stories. So this is kind of a reenactment, and so it'll be here in the PowerPoint. You can watch later. The PowerPoints will be on my website, so you could do it without the recording my voice. Also, and I will set it up in a module on a page where you could just watch them independently. All right, the next one is John B. Watson. He is known for what's called behaviorism, and he believes that external behavior of people and the reactions to given situations, and you could actually change that. And he is famous for something you can't do today, but basically harassing a little kid. The little kid is named Albert, so it's the little Albert video. And what he did is the kid liked furry little animals, like dogs and rats and things. And so what he ended up doing is introducing those to Albert, who at first liked them. And then what he did is he would show it to him, and then they would actually have loud sounds go off, which scared him. And so then the association became these furry animals would cause a fear reaction in little Albert. Again, not something that you would do today ethically, but back then, I guess in the 30s, less controls. So anyway, and I also have the little Albert video for you to watch, and you can see how it probably shouldn't have been done. But anyway, so again, I think it's a 2-minute video, and so you can watch that on your leisure. All right, the third one and the last one that we're going to do is B.F. Skinner, and Harvard psychologist, and he came up with a thing called operant conditioning. And sorry about that. And operant conditioning is a method where you have a behavior associated with either a pleasure or a pain receptor. So the idea behind operant conditioning is it's kind of this reward conditioning. And so here we have what's called a Skinner box, where the animal will learn that, for instance, a light goes on, a certain light goes on, they get rewarded, and you're rewarding a behavior. And when I worked at the zoo in the bird show, when we were training behaviors, we use what's called positive reinforcement. It's really operant conditioning. And you basically reward an animal for doing what you want it to do, and pretty much ignore the animal. We didn't use pain, but we would ignore the animal if it didn't do what you wanted it to do. And so, again, we have another video of that where he actually is training a pigeon to turn. And this video, again, is just a few minutes long. And so I want you to, again, know these three people and their behaviors and what they actually have done. So we will stop the share, and we will stop the video.